Is it possible to build an entire fragrance collection with only clones? If you're asking me, the answer is absolutely. Now, if you were to ask me that same question 6 or 7 years ago, I wouldn't have been as confident. The truth is, clones have come such a long way. And it's not that clones that were released 6, 7, 8 years ago were bad. One, they just weren't quite as accurate, weren't quite as high quality, and two, the big one here, there were nowhere near as many as they have now. I mean, we had clones of your usual suspects, Creed Aventus, and a lot of other, kind of popular, expensive niche fragrances, but we've gotten to the point now where we have clones of a lot of designer scents as well. And I think we can all understand why, because the prices on designer fragrances have gone up tremendously, therefore creating more of a demand for designer fragrance clones, which back, several years ago wasn't as much of an issue. So today we're going to be going over a select few clone fragrances that are easily just as good as the original, in some cases, if not better, whether it be by performance or just the little slight variations that they have. And they also could just easily fit right into your collection and pass for the designer or niche fragrances that they're imitating, making these a fantastic selection of scents to build an amazing collection out of. As always, I'm going to drop links to everything down below because we're talking clones and you can't go to Macy's and Sephora and buy these. So shopping on discounters is going to be the only way that you're going to be able to pick these up. We're going to get things kicked off with Rasasi Hawas Tropical. This one is a clone of Jean Paul Gaultier Le Beau Paradise Garden. So starting off with the designer clone here, Paradise Garden on discounters usually isn't hatefully priced. A lot of times it's on sale for $100, and that's 125 ml full presentation. That's not the end of the world, really. There was a point where it was more expensive and or sold out to the point where your only option was to pay retail, but that was when it first was released. And now it's had some time to be out there. Most people who want it have gotten it, so the demand part has gone down. Supply has gone up and the prices are normalized now, at least for the time being. However, Rasasi Hawas Tropical is usually around $40 to $45, making this effectively about half the price, and that is pretty significant. When you think about it, you could take and buy essentially 2 fragrances for the price of 1 if you were to find something else at this price point. And if you do that over and over again, you could see the snowball effect where by saving that bit of money, you can end up building a collection that's double the size. And I mean, that's something that a lot of people are interested in, and it makes sense for a lot of people, and it is so accurate to the point where it's not scary, but it really kind of puts everything into perspective here, and it just shows how much of a markup goes on within the fragrance community and the beauty niche in general. But yeah, Hawas Tropical, you get that coconut, minty, kind of sweet tropical smell that you get from Paradise Garden. Now, Paradise Garden is a bit fresher than Le Beau, Le Parfum, and even the original Eau de Toilette, making it a perfect fit for spring. And I guess you could even wear this one as we're moving into fall as well. That little bit of sweetness will help to make it hold up in some of the cooler fall days, although I just think that there would be better options. Okay, this next one is a clone of a niche fragrance here. Now, this niche fragrance in particular is Creed Green Irish Tweed, very expensive, but a true classic that I think everybody should at least be familiar with. But luckily, you don't have to buy that when you can buy Haramain Amber Oud Carbon Edition. I'm not lying when I say that this could take the place of my Green Irish Tweed bottles, and to the point where, obviously, aside from physically, I don't know if I would be able to tell the difference, at least not right off the bat, and at least not easily. I think I would take a while to catch on to that. If somebody were to empty out my bottles of Green Irish Tweed and refill them with this, I mean, that's how close it is. They got this one down to a science. Now, there's also Armaf Nuit. It's about $20 less than this. That basically puts this one here at about $40 or so. But to me, it is well worth spending the extra $20 to get the Haramain. It's better quality, it's better performing, it's even a little bit more accurate. Nothing wrong with the Armaf. If you want to save that $20 and get that, it's still going to do everything that this does. This is just better in my opinion. And when we're talking about that extreme accuracy and everything, the Haramain has it beat. And it truly does have that green lemon verbena, iris kind of twist that Green Irish Tweed has. It has everything down to an exact science here. It is remarkable how close this one gets. And Green Irish Tweed, again, it's a true classic. It's something that could be worn anytime, anywhere. More favorable in spring, but could easily be worn year-round as a signature scent. Most people probably aren't wearing Green Irish Tweed as a signature scent, given the price point. However, this one, you could easily do that, and you're not going to be completely running your wallet dry. About $40, $45 or whatever this one comes in at. It's a lot more appealing to wear this every day and go through a bottle much quicker. I believe this is, well, it's of course not going to show me what size bottle. I think this is like a 120, but I could be wrong. Anyway, beautiful Green Irish Tweed clone, worth every penny. This next one is Supreme L'Homme Extreme. It's an EDP. This is by Fragrance World. Probably have plenty of clues here. I probably don't even have to say it, but I will anyway. It's Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Extreme, just rebottled. No, not really rebottled. That's how accurate it is though as well. They get the plum, they get the almond, they get the tobacco. That mixture is perfected here just like it is in the Guerlain, and man, it is very, very close as well. Even the little details with this. I don't know if you could see that. Fragrance World on the top of the atomizer there. I believe Guerlain does that with their logo on their fragrances as well. In fact, I know that they do. So they even got it down to that little detail as well. Talk about dedication to their craft. Not only are they cloning the fragrance, but they're trying to emulate the bottle presentation as much as they can as well. And they did a really good job. You guys know I love basically the entire L'Homme line from Guerlain. And the Extreme is one of my favorites, along with the Parfum and the EDP. They have a clone of the EDP as well. Not a clone of the Parfum yet. Hopefully they're working on it. But the Extreme is the one I chose for this video. Now this is going to be more in line for what I would be reaching for this time of year. Fall heading into winter time here at some point. This is what I'm going to be wearing, and it smells great. Now the Guerlain usually is right around anywhere from $80 to $90 on discounters. This is about, I don't know, 30, maybe a little bit less sometimes. So again, not a huge difference in price, but yet still a difference nonetheless, and a great way to save some money and put that into some other stuff. This could easily compete up against that Guerlain, and you could go for this and you're going to be set. This next one is, well, it's actually the cheapest clone in this video, usually $19, $20 or so. Lattafa Asad. It's a clone of Dior Sauvage Elixir, which is on discounters, usually around $150, $160 for a 60 ml. Again, this is 100 ml for 20 bucks. And you might think, surely it can't be that close, right? The price difference is so massive that it just doesn't make sense. Well, that's not the case because this is very close. At this point, most of you guys are very familiar with Sauvage Elixir, whether it be trying that one or any of the number of clones, which all get close enough for you to understand what it's about. But it's all about the warm spices and the creamy sandalwood. Really strays away from the normal Dior Sauvage DNA by quite a bit. Now, one of the main reasons that Sauvage is so popular is the performance. It is very strong, but yet so is this. This one is a great performer as well. Kind of begging the question, is it worth jumping all the way up to Sauvage? And I would say when you look at most things on paper here, performance, quality, accuracy, and then you obviously compare the price, to me it just probably doesn't add up for most people to just make that jump. But again, this is just completely like not my choice, really. It's up to the person who's spending the money, which is you, the person watching this. You know, nobody else is buying it for you. You have to make that decision. I'm just here to tell you that this basically does the same thing for 20 bucks. This next one is Afnan 9 PM. Clone of Ultra Male by Jean Paul Gaultier. There are a few other Ultra Male clones out there as well. It's all about that pear, the vanilla, lavender, tonka bean, sweetness. It smells great, very young, playful smelling, but nonetheless, still a nice smell. Now, I believe instead of pear, they use a different note. I don't know if it was apple or something in this officially, according to their note breakdown, but it still has that same type of fruity sweetness. It might as well be pear because it's very accurate. Now, Ultra Male, again, usually around $100, maybe a little bit over for 125 ml full presentation, just the standard works, right? A little over $100. This one is, I think it's about 30 these days. So again, still plenty of money being saved there. All right, this next one is a clone of a very expensive niche fragrance. This is probably where this type of thing really, really makes sense to a lot of people. It's Armaf Club de Nuit Untold, clone of Baccarat Rouge 540 Eau de Parfum. Keep in mind, that one only comes in a 70 ml or a 200 ml. So that 70 ml, even on discounters, is still well over $200, right? This is a 105 ml bottle for usually around $40 to $50. Massive savings no matter what way you cut it. And it gets you incredibly close to Baccarat Rouge 540. Now, this is the furthest thing from the only BR 540 clone. There are many out there. So if you already have a clone of Baccarat Rouge 540, then you probably don't need this really. You could just take your pick and put whatever your favorite clone of BR 540 is in this video for this slot. This is the one I happen to choose. Again, I have several, and there are tons out there that I don't have even still, right? It gets to a point where I'm not gonna keep buying them over and over again because that's essentially what it is. So yeah, but anyway, Baccarat Rouge 540. Just that woody, transparent, light smell, very unique, and got super popular, which is bizarre given the fact that it is a different scent. A lot of people say that it's feminine leaning, and I would probably agree with that. So, you know, going into this one, keep that in mind. You're, you know, saving money by getting this, but it's still 50 bucks, 40 bucks. You know, you could get burned if you don't like it. So just don't rush into it completely blind without doing some more research, thinking it over, and maybe still trying to sample a bottle of this first or something. But if you like Baccarat Rouge 540, you're gonna like this. This next one is Maison Asrar Vision. This is a clone of Louis Vuitton Pacific Chill. It smells great. Very, very punchy, strong lime-based scent with a bunch of other citrus as well. It smells great, very sour, very bright, very punchy and head turning, great for spring and especially summer. It's very, I don't know, it's kind of has this beachy type of smell to it in the sense that it's just carefree, it's relaxing, it's just kind of a little bit tropical, a little bit vacation oriented. Obviously the Louis Vuitton is well over $300 and you cannot get it discounted at all. This one is usually around 40 to 50, so a little bit more expensive than most clones, but still it doesn't hold a candle to Louis Vuitton in terms of price point. Now in terms of accuracy and quality, man, it's not far off. I'm not going to say it's as good of quality because it's not. There's still a little bit of a depth difference here in favor of the Louis Vuitton. This one would fall flat a little bit, and I don't expect it to be, you know, on the same playing field as the Louis Vuitton. I would hope that it's not for the sake of that brand. But again, this still more than gets the job done at a price point that's much more obtainable. Afnan Rare Carbon. This is a great Tom Ford Ombre Leather clone, which was a little bit confusing. I mean, I don't know, just the name, the way the bottle looks. I was thinking it was going to be more like a Sauvage / Luna Rosa carbon style scent, basically in that blue fragrance genre. Obviously the note breakdown tells a different story, but just based off of everything that you see here visually, that's what I was thinking. That's what my mind went to when it first was announced. Obviously once you smell it, or again look at the note breakdown, it's apparent that it's basically opposite Tom Ford Ombre Leather. Nice, light, wearable, fresh leather with a watery violet leaf accord. It is very close. Ombre Leather on discounters usually $150, $160, 100 ml. For Tom Ford, that's not horrible, but still it's expensive. This is usually about $40, so save $100 or a little bit more here with this, and it does, again, basically the same thing. Last up for this video, a clone of Parfums de Marly Alter. It is Liquid Brun by Fragrance World. Beautiful vanilla and this roasted hazelnut type of gourmand sweetness. It is absolutely delicious. I mean, truly, and I've said it before, I see why people go crazy over this stuff, both this and the PDM. There's just something that is just truly delicious about it. Makes you want to take a bite out of it. That's how gourmand and realistic it is. It is a wonderful scent for fall and winter time. Big head turner, big compliment getter, and really could go either way. I don't know. I'm assuming it's, well, it is marketed for men. It's in the men's PDM lineup, but it could be unisex. And I think that if a guy's wearing it, it smells good and, you know, is amplified in a certain way. But I think if a woman were to wear it, I think that it would still work and, you know, would be perceived as more of a womanly scent. I don't know if I would call this masculine in the sense that we're used to, but still plenty of guys can pull this off and it's fine. I think a lot of things can kind of go whichever direction you want it to go. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. If you wanted to build a collection with only clones, these are some great options that are just so good for the money that it's almost kind of crazy. Links to everything will be down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.